Well, we're on to the next stage of the remodel. Let me show you the door that used to go into this spare bedroom. Has now been rocked over, taped, floated, primed. It's ready to be textured. This is a roll-on type texture here, heavy roll-on, and so we'll replicate that in this section before we paint it out. Then the main master itself, sheetrock is done. It's been hung, tape floated, primed, and now the next thing to do is to texture it. I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a spray-on texture gun with hopper, and it's going to be my first shot at such as that. But we're going to try to spray on texture. We're going to start with the ceiling. I don't want to do a knockdown. I'm going to go with an orange peel. Here's a knockdown in this section of the bathroom. And knockdowns are okay. I kind of like them a little more random texture. I don't know. Orange peel looks nice to me. Only thing I'm not sure about is whether the orange peel on the ceiling will come out significantly different than orange peel on the walls. Depends a little bit upon the nozzle I use and the thinning I do. But we'll make it happen somehow. So we're going to cover that in this video. You can see there's ceiling fan outlets, 1 and 2, and there's 2 HVAC vents, and then there's our 6 recessed fixtures. Here's our new window. It's a foot shorter than the old window. Forgive the dust, a lot of cleaning to do from the sanding sheetrock. It's about a foot shorter, which the sheetrock worked out to look pretty nice. One thing I did, and I'll just tell you a little bit about it, but if you remember in the earlier videos, if you watched the earlier videos, part of the walls are original and part of them are new. And you can actually see right about there, you'll see a line on the wall. And that's actually the difference between the primer on the fresh sheetrock and the primer on the old wall. The old wall did have a light texture on it, so I ended up skim coating the old wall and then sanding it out. And here's an example. It's pretty smooth, so our texture should go on quite evenly, I think, and then hopefully, you know, you won't be able to tell where the new wall and the old walls come together. Other than that line that you see there, there on the wall, where the primer, which I used Kills, which the primer just, I could go with another coat, you wouldn't know the difference. There's no line, no line in this section of the wall. It's all continuous. So anyway, so in this video, we will spray texture on the ceiling and the wall. Just for reference, you can see here on the floor, this is the old chalk line where the supporting wall was. So if we look directly above that, that's where our beam is. And man, you can't see it. It's just flat as it can be. So one thing that really gets my goat sometimes is when you see a remodel, they very obviously have removed the wall because there's a beam hanging down or some other discontinuity. Yeah, I wish it wouldn't have looked good. That's why the hassle was worth it, to put in a hidden beam. So got a lot of cleanup to do, remove tools and the like, so that we can have free space to start spraying on the texture, hopefully this evening. All right, we'll check back with you. Well, the time is on us. It's time to spray some texture on the ceilings. You'll notice there's a plastic film on the walls. Walls are untextured, so yeah, it may not make that much difference to protect the walls, considering we're going to do a similar texture on the walls. But hoping to get the texture a little heavier on the ceiling, so I didn't want to I didn't want to mess with the walls too much, so I went ahead and plasticed it off. Here's what we're going to be using. This is lead ceiling texture available at your local bulk DIY store. Drill there, bucket with some water, and then our stir bar. I'm going to start with about 2 gallons of water, which should be enough to pretty much consume about half that bag. We're going for a heavy pancake batter type consistency initially, and we're going to see how that does. And then there's another bucket here with some rinse water just for cleanup purposes. So just to show you, this is our hopper and spray gun, and it's available at Harbor Freight for $29.95, I think it was. And we'll just see how it does. So time to mix up some mud. So the mud's mixed up. I took quite a bit of powder, about half that bag actually, I think. Interesting, it seems to thicken quite quickly when you approach the right amount. So if you feel like you're adding a lot, you get close, slow down, as it'll go thick on you quick. How thick is thick? Oh, I don't know. It's heavier than pancake batter. You can see it kind of standing up there a little bit. But certainly much, much thinner than sheetrock mud. So, yeah, bottom line, we're going to give it a try and just see if we're close to what we need to be. I'm going to let it sit slack for a few minutes to make sure that any lumps get penetrated with the moisture, and then I'm going to give it another mix. And then we're going to give it a spray and see what it does. We're going to spray it on the wall first and see. And if we like that, then we're going to go ahead and shoot the ceiling with it. So, I'll go back with you. Okay, so we put our little hopper there across that stool to hold it up, filled it up with some mud, and then shot this wall right here. It's an orange peel, for sure. It's a fairly heavy orange peel, which is what I'm going for. You look at the nozzle sizes, these little guys have 3 nozzles that come with them. I can't give you their dimension right off. But those nozzle sizes, we're using the middle nozzle. Saving the smaller nozzle for the walls. Hoping I get an orange peel that's a little bit finer texture. This is a little bit of a coarser orange peel, which I think will work great for the ceiling. But I'd want a little bit finer on the walls if possible. So that's where we are. Let's see if we can start putting some of this on the ceiling and make real this thing. Here we go. I'm not terribly unhappy with that. Let's see if I can show you. I think I need a bit more air pressure. I'm going to give that a try. Let's see if we can't get a little more fill in, get a little more material going on there. I'll check back with you. Well, so here's our texture. See how well a shot I can get. I like it. It's a relatively heavy application. It's not terribly protruding down from the ceiling, so it's not like stalagmites or something, or stalactites that might be hanging down. So I like it a lot. It is a orange peel type texture, style of texture, but it's a little chunkier, I hope, than what the walls will be. It was my intention to have the ceiling a bit chunkier. I like relatively heavy texture on the ceiling. It reflects light well to me, and to me it brightens up a room a bit. So anyway, that's done. Now to the challenges. I ended up running about 40 psi. on my spray gun. It worked out pretty well. I probably could have gone a little thinner with the mix than what I did, but it works well. You can see I still have the rest of the room to do, so I've got to come down and take out light bulbs and make those preps. My plans, I took out these light bulbs, but I covered up the ceiling fan outlets just because I had some blanking plates. These I went ahead and sprayed and didn't worry about too much. And I'm just going to wipe them out here with the wet rags and shorties. And that's not too much in there. And so anyway, a couple things, I guess. The 40 pounds on the pressure, roughly. I ran the middle-sized tip. As far as Harbor Freight tooling goes, yeah, I'm okay with that. It cost me a little more than it cost to rent it, and since I'm doing it over a couple of day period, it's probably cheaper than renting it, truthfully, and the hassle of going to get it, things like that. So I'm quite good with the fact that this Harbor Freight tools worked well for me. The mud, the bag says it should cover about 1,500 square foot. Right now, what you see, this quantity is about just over 200 square foot that's covered. No, excuse me, 100 square foot. This whole room is 250 square feet, and still got a ways to go. So we're just over 100 square feet, my estimation, and we've gone through a quarter of a bag. So at least in this heavy application, buy a little extra. I should have enough in that bag to finish the ceiling, but I'll definitely have to go get another bag minimum to do the walls. The walls should be a lighter covering, so I can probably complete most of it, if not all the walls, with one more bag. Anyway, I hope this helps you. I'll probably come back at the very end whenever I'm done with the walls and the ceiling and show you total final product. Now I'm going to finish this video up real quick. It's very difficult to get this on camera, so forgive me. Here's the finish on the ceiling. It's a heavy orange peel. Absolutely love it. Came out perfect in my book. Again, I like its structure a lot. I like it better than a knockdown. And so, ceiling's done. Walls also been completed. The walls also are an orange peel, but you can see, hopefully, they're much lighter orange peel than the ceiling. So there's a real difference, I'm glad to report, between the ceiling and the walls. And that's what I was going for. One thing to note, here's an example. When you mix your mud and you let it sit, then mix it really, really well again. Otherwise, this thing blows some chunks. Not the fault of the device, just the fact that the mud isn't well mixed. And when you're doing a light texture, a light orange peel, which is what we were going for here, those little things make a difference. There may have been some of those in the ceiling, but again, the ceiling's a heavy enough orange peel. So we're going to go around and kind of take those off. Thumbnail, just here's one here. You can see, and if you just take the thumbnail, basically you're good to go. It just takes some time. I'll make myself a bit crazy with that. So look, we're very near complete here. We'll start painting this evening, paint the ceilings. Also, I'm going to go ahead and bring the trim in this room, put the fan back in the window that I used when I sanded, and you're going to spray paint the trim up on sawhorses. It's going to be white like the ceiling, and then then we'll paint the walls, hang the trim, you know, fixture everything out. I got to put our register covers in, I put our ceiling fans up. I put our light finish, our light finals in around there to dress those up. And then we've got to replace a few plugs. 3 of the plugs were new, 4 of the plugs are old, so we're going to replace those from ivory to white. 1 switch left to replace, and then 1 switch left to install here for the fan, speed control. We're still drying just a touch in places, so we'll let this finish drying today. The ceiling's dried out, no problem. We can paint that first thing, and then and then move on. So I'm tickled, tickled. The walls came out, oh, smooth, as did the ceiling. So I'll brag a little. This is certainly the best sheetrock work I've been able to undertake. I originally quoted the sheetrock work out, and it was going to be about $950 with texture, with texturing. So I saved a little money. I can't say I saved any time. I spent myself some time, but yeah, I can certainly say I saved some money off the steel. You have to tape everything off when you do this. I mean, you can see the overspray here on the paper around this door. You know, so we taped off the doors, taking a lot of it down now. We taped off the vanity in the bathroom. And we also did spray the bathroom, this vanity section. We had taken down wallpaper on this wall, had to skim coat it. So we certainly had to texture that. And so to make everything match, we textured here around the vanity. So we pulled these lights out while we textured, so I'll put those back in. So that's where we are. Harbor Freight texture spray gun, love it. Worked wonderfully. Like I said, it was basically 30 bucks, and I think the rental on those things was like $5 or $6 a day. Would have had to rent it for at least 2, maybe 3 days. I'm not real fast. Things get in the way around here. And so, yeah, pretty much by the time you pay for the gas to get there, pay for the gas to deliver it back, yeah, I'm break even. I'm happy with the Harbor Freight gun. It doesn't have too many moving parts or motors, so it's I won't say it's foolproof, but it's not too far from it. So we're loving it. Moving on, do some painting. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.